In third piece of chapter 7, we are going to learn about quality management tools and techniques. And because there are a lot of tools and techniques, um, they are divided in two parts. For the first part, we are going to cover some tools and techniques that are including lean and lean thinking in supply management, total quality management or TQM, quality function deployment or QFD, and finally continuous improvement, which is also defined as Kaizen. So the rest of these items will be presented in next piece of this course. Lean used to be a buzzword long time ago, and still it has its own importance on companies. So it's a kind of management philosophy, okay? More than being a tool, it's a kind of management philosophy that can be used for and in different areas. For example, lean manufacturing, lean procurement, lean organization, lean thinking. So there are so many words that lean can be added to them. So a lean is a management philosophy focused on maximizing customer value. So the goal is to maximize customer value. The goal is to make sure that after we implement lean concept in any organization, customers will be happier. And there is a very important phrase here, which is while minimizing wastes. So the main thing that lean do to any organization, to any concept that it is attached, is reducing or minimizing wastes. Waste or muda, which is coming from a Japanese word, um, can be seen in three different forms. It could be seen in terms of overproduction, when you are producing more products than it's required, and then you are storing those products. So it's a kind of waste. Waste can be seen in terms of waiting time, in terms of transportation, extra transportation that you don't need to do that actually, non-value added processes, any processes that you do it just because you used to do it and it actually doesn't add any value to customers. So these are called non-value added processes. Inventories. Inventories are like a sponge. If you keep inventories, they are going to absorb money. So that's another types of waste. Motion, any movement, including movement of people, movement of material. So these are a kind of waste. And finally, cost of quality, like scraps, reworks, or anything related to inspection. So when you do these activities, you are a kind of doing non-value added activities. Yes, even inspection is non-value added activity. If we could do something that we don't need to do inspection, so it's a kind of implementing lean in our organization. There is another nice concept which is called value streams. So value streams are a series of steps executed in the right way and in the right time to create value for the customers. Okay, so a set of steps that are implemented in order to create value for final customers. So these steps, as you can see, have certain specifications and definitions, but the main idea here is that we make sure each step is a valued and valid step. Each step is going to make customer happier. So what if a customer is not happy with that step? So we should put our efforts in order to revise and reconsider and review that step. Can we merge it with other steps? Can we remove that? So as a result of this perspective, that customer is looking at our processes, customer is looking for values from our processes, we will make sure that extra steps that are not valuable will be removed from our processes. If we implement and combine the concept of lean integrated with value streams, we will gain so much benefits. The goal is to optimize the flow of products and services through value streams and flow internally across technologies, assets, and departments in order to remove waste and non-value added activities and focus on something that adds value to customers. Therefore, all the stakeholders will be happier from our processes and our activities. So if I want to just name one example as it's written in your course reference, Honda has implemented some strategies in order to apply and combine these two steps, these two concepts, lean and value streams. So they are trying to move their manufacturing facilities closer to customers. So they don't need to transport products or cars to customers. So they are removing waste and non-value added activities. Then they are trying to move design and all activities related to research and development closer to manufacturing. So they are saving so much cost, they are sharing some resources, and they will gain some values out of that. And finally, they are trying to make high volume production. So they're going to use economies of scale for each regional location. So if they have targeted certain areas, let's say North America, let's say Europe, let's say Asia, they are trying to build a factory with a very large volume of manufacturing. Then they think about exchanging some cars, some products between different regions in order to make sure that they have a proper basket of or portfolio of products. So by implementing all of these strategies, they are implementing lean and value streams at the same time. The next concept, which is not actually a new one, is total quality management or TQM. TQM is a philosophy, is a school of thought that helps us in order to facilitate the process of implementing quality and making customer happy. So if I want to define it, as you can see, a philosophy and system of management that focuses on long-term success through customer satisfaction. So when you're trying to implement TQM, uh, you're trying to implement a set of ideas, concepts, and tools that the final goal is making customer happier. So quality integrated through the organization activities. So we are trying to integrate quality in all different aspects of our organization. We are trying to train and educate employees that are committed to continuous improvement. You don't have any employee that ignores the importance of continuous improvement. The next one is suppliers are partners. They are not just a person that we pay them money and they are giving us parts. They are a part of our company. We need to make sure that we understand their requirement, we understand what they want, we can satisfy them, we want to help them in order to improve their processes. As a result of that, suppliers are going to help us in order to provide high quality products at the uh, right quality, right quantity, right place, and so many other rights. And also in TQM, we are using some tools that are pretty famous. We already reviewed many of them, including continuous improvement or Kaizen, quality function deployment, statistical process control, and so many other types of tools that are pretty common nowadays. Okay, one of the tools that is pretty common and is used widely in TQM is continuous improvement or Kaizen. So the definition of that is relentless pursuit of product and processes improvement through a series of small progressive steps. So this is very important. In Kaizen, we are not looking for a big jump. We are looking even for a small movement towards continuous improvement. So that's the difference between American look to quality compared to Japanese look to quality. Japanese look to quality thinks that even one small step is important. You shouldn't wait to actually start a big step or big pace. While in American perspective to quality, we are mostly looking at innovation. In other words, we don't do huge improvement steps and continuous improvement until we are obliged to do that, until we need to totally change the design of the product. Okay, so it follows a well-defined and well-structured approach, which is called plan, do, check, act circle, or plan, do, check, act activities. So you probably have seen this one. So we have plan, do, so it's a kind of circle, check, and finally act. And this is a continuous circle. Probably you have heard it as the name of PDCA as well, PDCA cycle. So plan, do, check, act. So this process is something that is also called Deming wheel. And if you implement this cycle or this Deming wheel in your company, you are moving towards continuous improvement or Kaizen. And again, this concept, which is continuous improvement and Kaizen, uh, may use so many problem-solving tools such as Pareto analysis, histograms, scatter diagrams, check sheets, fishbone diagrams, control charts, run charts, and process flow diagrams. These are SPC diagrams as well, statistical process control tools as well. Next tool is called quality function deployment, uh, and also called QFD. QFD is a process that's supported by a set of tools. It uses a set of tools that these tools are used in order to translate the language that customer talks into the language that engineers in our company understand that. Okay? Because they normally talk in two totally different languages. So the language that customer talks is called VOC or voice of customer. For example, they say we want, in terms of, for example, car, they would say we like a car that is beautiful. So what does beautiful mean in the mind of an engineer? It has no meaning. So we need a process in order to translate it that to engineer's mind. Or sometimes customers say, I want a car that drives fast. So what does it mean drives fast? What should a engineer do in order to design a car that is fast? So they should work on aerodynamics, they should work on the power of engine, they should work on different aspects such as weight of the car. So this is the language that engineers normally talk. So if we use a kind of matrices that are called house of quality, we will be able to step by step translate the language of customer, which is voice of customer, into the language of engineers inside our company. And then also we are able to translate them in terms of the process requirement, in terms of quality requirements in our organization. And sometimes finally it ends to or result in improving the supply process, finding the proper supplier, focusing on quality parts. So that's why QFD is one of the important tools of TQM that has a very nice application in procurement and supply management as well. As I already mentioned, because we are able to translate the language of customer into the language of different departments and different units in our organization, we will be able to achieve so many goals. For example, we will be able to um, plan the production properly. We will be able to uh, deployments of parts. We'll be able to planning of the processes and also the production planning. So all of these are as a result of implementation of QFD.